Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of Old Try Hard Game with me, Roll KCV, where they say, I mean, he does the best he can with what he's got, which I admit is not a lot of talent, but it is some success. Put the chain tires on the truck, and I didn't have to winch from the front to the back and then get the thing up on the rocks and then switch to the truck and winch from the back to the front. And yeah, I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I could just do it all from the front truck. There was one place where I wasn't a little sure, but anyway. So I got the truck up there. It should be able to go on its own now. All I need to do is get this thing out of its way. So I will do that. I will get this out of the way. Getting out of the way. Best place to do that, I think. Oh no! Oh, I've got so many bumps on this thing. I do have repair points with me, but it's not that bad right now, so. Okay, it is out of the way here. And you may ask, why do you have metal on the truck? And the reason is simple. It's because there's a framing site that's very hard to get to. So I took half of their load now. But now I'm at a point where I'm ready to deliver the last 2 medium logs for this contract, and then I will be done with this map. And this is kind of a restricted playthrough. I am playing, it's a normal mode game. Whoops, it's a normal mode game. There's no such thing as easy mode. It's just a normal game, no new game plus or anything like that. But I am restricting myself to only vehicles that are available as separate DLC from the regions. Trucks that you have to pay for individually, or tires, I guess, you have to pay for individually that you can't find, that are not tied to any season. I don't know the best way of describing what those are, but I'm restricting myself to those because I'm cheating already with the Mastodon, the 612H, and I figured, you know, let's try to do a whole playthrough with only those trucks. So that's what I'm doing. It's kind of a restricted playthrough. I don't necessarily recommend everyone buy all of the DLC. I certainly would not recommend that, but I got a great price on everything, so I'm using the DLC trucks. But that is a little bit of a restriction because, you know, they don't necessarily have the best of every truck available. And sometimes they have to break that restriction, like there is a I still can't get there. There is a contract on this map to deliver a special trailer that can't be delivered via. Why is this not? What is it stuck on? I can't see what it's stuck on. It's just got to power through the rocks, apparently. Oh, it's stuck on my parking brake is what it's stuck on. Oh, for goodness sakes. Well, that's not the first time that's happened, I hate to admit. All right, now I can get... Yes, this is a difficult area for me to get through. I'm not using my mud tires right now, so I've got chain tires on, so I get up that icy spot, but that means the mud is a lot harder to negotiate. But thankfully, they put lots of winch points around here. So yeah, that's the easy mode, using those vehicles. The 100% part is I am going to do all the regions all the tasks, all the contracts, all the contests, though I'm not trying to get gold in all the contests. And my objective is to scout every pixel on the map that is at all possible. Some maps, like there's a map in Alaska where it ends at an ocean. You can't possibly get a vehicle over there. But I'll use the prototype exploration unit, which came out before I started this playthrough. And also get all the temporary cargo off of the map. So clear off all the framing sites. Any warehouse that only has a few of something, a limited number. Take all the cargo off of there. Grab all of those things. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to break that rule because I have a little bit of a whoopsie. And these logs would flying up in the air, and there's no way to get to them. So they're just going to have to sit there. But other than weirdness like that, all the cargo is going to be used off of this map. And let's make it daylight. So that's my 100%. That's my easy mode 100% playthrough. That's the easy mode part and the 100% playthrough part. So there we go. I've explained it all. And now I finally get to hear music. I live for the music. Did it really go well? Did it really go well and no one's hurt, too? No, people were hurt in the making of this contract. That's what happens when people know the safety rules. Great, here's your cut. Yeah, well, I won't tell you about the people that got hurt and fell off cliffs and stuff trying to get this thing finished, but, you know, I'm Took. I can handle a few broken bones. That's me. In Canada, I'm Took. In other locations, I've got other nicknames, but here I'm Took. Anyway, well, let's not stop the engine yet. Let's think about what we're doing next. I hope that's the last of the contracts here, other than the ones that do the on this map, the contract, other than the ones that do the conveyor belt sections. They're going to get done last. And final check requires the conveyor belts. No, they're all on the next map. Okay. And this is on the next map. And this is on the next map. As is this. As is this. As is that. There's one delivery here. Oh, this is what I should be doing next. Because there are log deliveries here, but they're only medium logs. And then I go to the next map. So this should be the next thing I do. Grab some medium logs. And then take more logs to the other place. All medium logs. I think there's logs on the other map. Medium logs on the other map. And then that's on the other map. Okay. Why is this not white? Oh, did it say activate, right? Maybe it didn't say activate. Okay. That is up here. Wait, was this another one? No, that's all the other map. Yeah, all these are on the other map. Okay, so this is what I have left. It's half on this map, half on that map. And since the other map is already explored and all that stuff, I'm definitely halfway through this region, but oh man. More than halfway through the region. All right. Where am I going? I gotta get logs. Where am I going? Where's Bill's house? Why are you not showing me where Bill's house is? Oh, you are showing me where Bill's house is. Bill's house is there, huh? Okay. And where's Svenson's house? Or Stevenson's house? There. Oh, that looks like a really easy place to get to. It can't be harder than where I came from. Oh, is this the place that I had to get to by going through the water and up on the... I mean, I got here before. This game is a nightmare. I'm going to be using the scout vehicle to try to find the best way of getting up there. I did take a truck at one point up here. And then I was able to somehow get through there. I've been there before. Brick framing. Okay. So I can take 2 loads of bricks with one truck. So I can scout it out with the same truck that I have now. But oh my goodness, that's the first thing I have to do is figure out how to get there. And now it's hard to tell where paths are and where they aren't. I mean, it is possible, once again, to come around here and go on these rocks, around here on these rocks, and then follow the ice path around and then get up through there. And then I think you can go from there up around, all the way around to here. I think that's possible. And then around through here and around through there. I think that's possible. And that might be the best way. Alternative way would be to go along the shore, come up here, which is an incredibly steep slope. You might be able to get around that rock and then get through here. Okay, so those are 2 possible ways. I'm tempted to use the truck. I'm gonna go dump the cargo off at the garage first. But use this other truck, the other ZiKZ. I thought I had switched to the other ZiKZ. Okay, no, that's the wrong one. Oh, was I in? Okay, there, finally. Obviously, it was me doing something wrong. Okay, I'm going to take this thing. I'm going to go back to the garage. I'm going to unload. Yeah. Do I dare go back and get the second thing and take them both overloaded? I really want to get that other framing site metal. Now, if I overload them, I think I can bring them back this way. And through here and down the slope to the garage. This is going to be fun. And then I can drop them off at the garage, which is, you know, a good place to dump cargo. Out of the way. In front of the garage entrance, which I never use because, you know, I'm playing easy mode. All right, well, this is going to be fun. It's going to be a bad idea, I'm sure. But I think I can avoid going through the mud pile if I'm just going to the framing site. In fact, I probably could have avoided going through that mud pile to go to There's no reason to go through that mud pile. I think I can get to the... Yeah, I think this mud pile is where you want to go to get to the logging site, right? I can still get to the logging from here. Or do you have to... Yeah, maybe you do have to take that to go there. Anyway, I am going to go and try and take an overloaded set of metal beams over to the garage, down that icy slope. In other words, what I'm going to try to do is get an overloaded set of metal beams as far as I can until it falls off. Because that's what's going to really happen. Okay, I have to do this. Pointed the right way. Back off a little more. Pointed the right way. Come on, get up on the slope. Oh, don't be in the loading zone. The loading zone is probably a little bit wider than it looks there. Wait, is this the metal site or am I at the wrong place? No, this is the metal framing site. Look, brick. Okay, so I want to get just until my back end is still in the cargo loading zone. Okay, that's a little too far. Back. Okay, there. Now! Blammo! Here's the secret to the Russian crane. One thing that I figured out that a lot of people don't know. I mean, I've only got about 500 hours in the game, but I learned this from Wesselon. No, I picked this one up on my own. There are a lot of tips I've picked up from other people. This one I figured out on my own. Let's activate the anchor. And use the crane. Now, the Russian crane is tricky. The Russian crane, if I went over here and attached to it and tried to then lift it up to put it where I wanted it, it would never go. Iron bars are too heavy for that. So what you do instead is you get the crane up as high as you want, approximately where it goes, a little bit farther than where you want it to go. And now you just use the winch. Don't try to use the crane, just use the winch. The winch can lift anything, the crane can't. Just keep on it, be patient, it'll work. There we go, flip it back around. Here it comes, baby, here it comes. And we're there. Okay, now I can rotate it, But as soon as I start lifting or raising the crane, we're moving the crane side to side, it's going to fall down. So I did not quite put the crane in the right spot, but I've got it straight enough now that as I start to move the crane, it should fall where I want it to fall. Yeah, see, the crane has already gone down, but okay, I think I got it. Is it on the tire? I think it's on the tire. No, it's not on the tire. Pull it up a little bit. Okay, and lower the winch. Now I can lower the crane. Get the crane as far forward as I can. Oh, wait, nope, I moved it over. I didn't want to do that. I thought I had it straightened on there, but I didn't. No, I'm I'm messing this up. But not in a way I can't recover. But I'm messing this up because I had it on there straight and then I moved the crane too far forward. Because I need to pinch. Okay. So now... nope. Up. Up. Forward. Okay, now it's on there. Now we'll just lower the crane. And pinch the baby. Okay, and also pull the winch in a little bit so it's nice and taut. Okay, that should be good. Let's go. Let's do it. We're out of here. Pull the anchors back in. Yay! Overloading cargo! That's what SnowRunner's all about. All right, let's get back. I only put one marker, but I know where I'm going. Right back where I came. And I think there's a better than 50-50 chance that we get this cargo all the way back to the garage. And I have my tongue out because I'm like grinning. Better than 50-50 chance, smiley face. But no, I do think we can make it. I mean, I think there is a better than 50-50 chance we get it all back. If we dump it on the way, I may not try to pull it back up. Because this is not my main... My main goal is to not get metal beams over here. My main goal is to get the... you know, get the logging contract done. But I'm going to take this back to the garage. I'm going to dump it there. And I'm going to go to where I need to go, see if I can find the best way of getting there with this truck, and then I'll pick up the 2 bricks. And then I'll stay up there in case I need to help the logging trailer to get up anywhere. But I have to think about the 2 ways to go, because there are 2 ways to go. Which one looks the most treacherous? I'm not sure. Oh, this is an easy path. I could have taken the path around on the rocks the way I came, the other way on the rock ledge, but getting around that corner, fully laden, overloaded in fact, I'm not looking forward to. So. Is that where I'm going? Yeah, that is where I'm going. That takes me over to the brick framing place, so that's an easy enough place to get to. In addition to getting this logging contract done, I got my lights on. In addition to getting this logging contract done, oh, I'm overloaded, which requires those. In addition to getting the logging contract done, I am starting the process of pulling all the cargo off of this map, because that's what I said. I'm going to pull all the cargo off of the map. Hold on a second, I need to hydrate. Ah, 6-hour stream today after a 6-hour stream yesterday. More like 7 yesterday. Because I had to take a break in between. But that's my life. Streaming 6 hours on Saturdays and Sundays, both starting at 12 6:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. 6.5 usually, 6.5, sometimes 7, 6.5 hours. And then on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, streaming for 3 to 3.5 hours, starting at 6:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So, yes, it's, what did I figure out? About 16 hours of streaming. It's 9, 18, about 20 hours of streaming. And then the all the action in the streams, other than just chatter and my breaks, is broken up for YouTube. So both Twitch and YouTube get to benefit. YouTube.com/@RollCageTV and Twitch.tv/RollCage_TV. Need the underbar on Twitch, which I hate, but it's necessary. And I wish it wasn't, but it's necessary. Okay, crane mode. I'm gonna move it over and it's gonna fall, but that's okay. See how the crane just goes. The Russian crane cannot help handle this. But I got just enough of a winch on it that I can still raise it up and hopefully turn it around. No, I don't. It's not gonna raise at all. I want to raise it up because I want to turn it around. There we go. Turn it sideways. There we go. Good enough. Now, we do the same thing, except unpack the truck, go back into crane mode, and go here. And now do the same thing. Although I'm at risk of tipping the truck over here, I did extend my anchors, right? Or didn't I did not extend my anchors. Okay. That could be critical. If it looks like the truck's going to tip over, obviously I will stop what I'm doing. But get it out of the truck. It's going to flop all around. That's okay. As long as I keep the winch on it. That's the only thing that's important. Use the winch, not the crane. The winch is mightier than the crane. Okay. Now, yeah. Adjust it with the crane, or with the winch, not the crane. Oh, need to get it up higher. See, the crane collapses even with the winch if it isn't high enough up, and I don't think I can get it high enough up and still out that far. Yeah, I think that's the best I'm going to do, but you know what? That's good enough. That's good enough. It's pretty well stacked. If I had adjusted the crane a little bit better, the first time I got out of the truck, it would have been better. But you got to overshoot because, you know, when the winch starts pulling, the crane wants to go with it. Now, what do I do? What I always do. I recover, because then everything's fixed, and it doesn't matter. And I'm going to leave the garage and do the exact same thing again. But I'm going to find a way up here. Not up there. I'm going to... That's the logging station. No, I'm going to find a way up here to this brick framing site. If I can get to the brick framing site, I can get to the place where I need to drop those off. And how am I going to do that? There's two ways that I see. One is to go along the shore and up through here, which might be possible with snow tires. And I think that's probably the way to go. The other way is to come across this bridge, go around here, past this brick framing site, and then come here, and it is, I think, possible to get on these rocks, and around this rock, and then on this rocky ledge and down there, but man, I don't think that's the way I'm going to try. I think the first way I'm going to try, I'd never get that way with logs, even with assistance. So I am going to try going this way. Going up this slope. Past this brick framing site. Now, how do I get there? I can cross and go along this shore, I'm pretty sure. Or I can come all the way down here and take this road. I know I can cross there and go along this shore. Which is the direction the logs are going to be coming from. So maybe that's a good way to practice. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Because there is... there is a way to get across this river. I've done it before. It's not very deep. There are other places where you cross where it is very deep. And I will use my photo mode drone just to make sure. In case you don't know, photo mode drone is just going into photo mode, and then if you're in photo mode, you can leave the truck, which is what, you know, in real life, it's not a cheat, it's what the driver would do. You can only go so far. The driver would get out of his truck and he'd go look. And if you're not sure if the water is too deep, the driver would stick his head under the water and gurgle and you know, be able to see how deep the water is. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too unreasonable. The driver would bring a snorkel with them. Or a drone, but not a waterproof drone. The driver would bring a snorkel with him. Obviously, all truck drivers have snorkels with them as part of the safety equipment. And so he would be able to put on a snorkel, look underneath the water, and, you know, verify that the water isn't too deep. This is a long way to go around, but this is the direction that the log truck would be coming from. So... and how many loads is it? It's just medium logs. It's 2 loads to one place, 2 loads to another. So I will just make 2 trips. I won't need the crane load, unload it. I'll just make 2 trips. I won't try to pull 2 trucks together or whatever. I'll just make 2 trips. And I don't know if I'll need to keep this truck up there in order to help. But I will keep it up there. I'll do the logging next, and then I'll eventually bring these bricks back home. There is, if you fix this thing, it cuts off some paths that you could possibly take. But right now, none of the paths that I could possibly take are really viable for a bunch of things. So, I mean, I could change them at any time, but I'm going to do that last because that's really a smart thing to do, is to do the conveyor belts last, because it does cut off roads, accesses that you could have that you don't have once you do those. So that's one of the tips for this region. I don't know if any other regions do the same thing, but I noticed this when I was watching Rezvani on Wheels play, who I definitely recommend. On my YouTube channel, I have a featured channels section off of my homepage, and Rezvani on Wheels is one of those featured channels. You might have to scroll a little bit, but yeah. He plays SnowRunner. He also plays it on console. In his case, he plays it on PlayStation. And he does the same thing as me. He streams it. I think he streams it directly to YouTube, but he streams it and then edits those for hour-long highlights. So, well, they're not highlights. It's the whole thing for hour-long videos. So it's just like me. You see all the action on his streams. Not that way, is it? So yeah, I really like him. He's got a very engaging personality. So I highly recommend Rezvani on Wheels. Very good guy. And he's also doing a multi-year playthrough because he's doing the whole thing. He calls it, he used to call it a day. He plays 1 hour of SnowRunner every day, or 1 day, SnowRunner day every calendar day. And a SnowRunner day is an hour. So, but that means he also plays through the night because he's playing a hard mode, so. So it's very similar to me, except hard mode. And he's a lot better than me. That's the major difference. All right. Maybe we'll have time to get there before the 15 minutes come up. That truck can go away. I'm not going to need that truck here. I'm not going to need the loading crane anymore. I don't think. But no need to move trucks sooner than they need to be moved. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, I lost the tire completely. No, it doesn't show tire. Oh, I just got damaged. Well, let's fix the suspension. Oh, yes, I did lose a tire. There. Okay. Yes, I'm right by the garage. I could just go ahead and fix it, but I would just smack into it again. I don't want to take the time. Now watch, I'm going to have some critical thing that I absolutely need to fix, and I won't have that spare tire anymore. Anyway, this truck also has chain tires on it now. They all have chain tires on them, which may not be the best thing, but I feel like there's going to be an icy slope we need to get over regardless, so. And all the mud piles do have, winchables. Now this is as much as anything a scouting trip, so I get to see what the terrain is like, if this path is viable. If it turns out that there isn't really a lot of ice, well then I'll switch to the mud tires on the other one. The mud/deep snow tires. Because I know that that will be difficult on chain tires. But if there is snow, then I'll keep the snow tires on. If there's ice, not snow. If there's ice, I'll keep the chain tires on. If there's no ice, I'll switch to the mud tires. But I don't really know this way, so I don't know whether it will be what. But I am required to get all the cargo off of all the temporary cargo off of the map. And I know they give you more than you need, so it's a little bit more of a challenge to use only temporary cargo for anything that has temporary cargo, to try to run it down as much as possible. And that means some of the cargo might be taken from out of the way places. But if need be, I will delete it. I will put it on the loading platform and delete it. If I can't use it all and I don't need it anymore, I'll just go there, put it on the loading platform and delete it. If it's an out-of-the-way place like here, I'll try to pull it from that out-of-the-way place in advance. Bring it back to the garage, either garage or the train station. The train station is also a good place to keep temporary cargo. And because I'm playing on easy mode, the cargo does show up on the map. It doesn't show up on your list, but it shows up on the map. In hard mode, loose cargo doesn't show up on the map. The cargo itself is on the map, but the name to tell you there's cargo there doesn't show up on the map. I'm doing a bad thing. I'm trying to take a drink and scroll while I'm driving, which means I can't steer, and I was in a big mud pile not steering. But I counted on this vehicle. I counted on Toop to be able to steer the car on his own. Let Toop take the wheel. That's what I say. Oh, good old Toop. I don't remember what his nicknames all were in the different regions, but what region is next? I have to start gearing up. I have to think of a new nickname for him in the next region. Took is in Canada because of the Great White North. SCTV. One of my favorite TV shows of all time. I say I don't usually watch fiction stuff, but man, I love that show. When I was younger, I did. I watched that show when it first showed up on independent U.S. television. So that's how old I am. Look it up, youngins. SCTV. Tremendous comedy group. And Great White North was Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. They were told it was produced in Canada, filmed and produced in Canada, and they told the people after the first year, you know, this show doesn't have a real Canadian appeal to it. You need to do more Canadian stuff, because nobody can tell that you're Canadian, not from the U.S. You sound like you're too much from the U.S. So as kind of stick it to the execs, they decided to have the most Canadian stereotype possible show, and that's how they came up with Great White North. Two guys wearing their toques, which are the knit hats, and this is where I turn right, and hunting vests and things, and just drinking. It was all about beer. They invented Beer Hunter, where you shake up one can from a 6-pack, and then each person mix them up, and then each person opens a can near their head in turns to see who gets splattered with the foamy beer. Yes. You youngins have probably heard of Beer Hunter. Well, that came from SCTV. As far as I know, it came from SCTV. I think it did. And it's a reference to the movie Deer Hunter, which came out around that time. Deer Hunter is a very adult, violent movie, which was the big Robert De Niro breakout movie. I do not recommend that movie to the kids. If you're an older adult, you've probably heard of it. You know what it's about. It's not a movie I would watch again because it's too violent for me. And as I've gotten older, my tolerance for that has gotten much, much lower. Even when I was young, I wasn't into like slasher movies or anything like that. But now my tolerance for any kind of violence is much lower. Okay, I am going to check these waters. And the best way to check the waters, and I don't know if this is going to be a good way for the logs, but the best way to check the waters is to use the old photo mode drone. My driver's getting on his snorkel. He's getting on his snorkel, and he's going to go down in the water. He's going to wait until it's perfect time of day. Wait until the skies clear up. Make sure his vision is as good as possible. He's got as much focus range as possible. And here he goes. He's out of his truck now. He's getting out of his truck. Right now he's kind of flying through the air. But he's out of his truck. He's got his snorkel on. He's going to go down into the water. And he's going to see where is the rocky path to where I want to go. Yeah, it's rocky. Where am I going? I'm going over there, I think. And it does not look that deep. There is a bit of a current, so I should start trying to go uphill. Now, I can see this becoming a complete disaster when I'm here with logs. But it's doable. I'm convinced that it's doable. But I am going to do it in the morning here. And it's still dark, but so I'm going to go up current. I'm going to head up current, and I do have a large snorkel on the truck, even bigger than the snorkel that my driver uses when he sticks his head under the water and goes swimming on the rocky water. So. Yeah, this is definitely possible. Even with a logging truck, this is definitely possible. I think this is a better way to go. The other way is ridiculously difficult. Now the question is there a good path through the woods here? Now I think there is. I can see the path. And this is a more natural way for the truck to get through the woods. Now I think there's another place to get medium logs on the other map. So I'm just going to do half of the contract here, I think, and then go to the other map and do the rest of the contract. But I'll check it at that point. And I'm coming up on 15 minutes, so I might not make it all the way here. This is where I check to see what this path is going to be like. And so far I haven't seen any icy places, just narrow rocky places potentially. And with logs this might be tough, but again, no rocks or no ice. So this will determine what type of tires I put on. Mud tires or chain tires. Okay, now we got mud. All those repair points. And I'm wearing chain tires now, so I'll know on this vehicle, so I'll know if chain tires can do it. But I will need a little help, I think, in places. The chain tires carrying a big heavy load. But there's winchables. Scouting for winchables. Definitely winchables. Yeah, how far am I? Get up on some solid ground. Oh, over there now, huh? Not up here? My thing says over there, but I'm not sure. This might be a path. Up here might be a path, except it looks like there's a rock in the way. Yeah, so this looks like the better path. Assuming I can get through those trees. This looks like it does not have rocks in the way. The path here, how do I get around this rock? Yeah, that's the sucker path. It's this path that we take. All right, but that is something that I will do in a little bit. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. I am going to take a break and be right back. If you're watching on YouTube, though, that's going to be it for this episode. The next YouTube episode will be the next weekday. No, not the next weekday. The next YouTube episode will be the next day. 7 days a week on YouTube. SnowRunner at noon U.S. Central Time, which is almost always 6 p.m., 1800 hours in the UK. And ironically, almost never 0600 hours the next day in New Zealand. But it is plus or minus an hour, depending on the time of year, thanks to daylight savings time and opposite sides of the hemisphere, opposite sides of the equator and all that stuff. So, Twitch again. I'll be right back, just taking a short break. YouTube, next episode. Either way, thank you much for watching, and I'll see you then.